This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of July 3rd, 2023. As I record this, there is a distant hum, a distant roar, unidentifiable, some kind of machinery working on something within a few blocks of my location, and this is fitting for Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, burrowing, plowing, digging, roto-rootering through foundations, structures, infrastructure, running as a background noise, running as a background process going on underneath everything that's happening, and occasionally kicking a clod of dirt or worse up into the air for us to see what has been going on down there. Material conditions and worldly concerns will be very much in focus for everyone. We get a prolonged moment at the start of the week to look around and see what has been building in our lives, and more importantly, how we feel about it. The Capricorn full moon on the 3rd invites a somewhat cold and calculating look at what has been going on in your life and whether it's meeting your needs, but with an emotionally expressive streak. Mercury is in Cancer, the most emotional, tender, sentimental, nostalgic, and let's be honest, cranky position for the winged messenger. This combination could bring feedback from people near to you about the emotional impact on them of all of your work, i.e., Daddy, why don't we ever see you anymore? It could also soften Capricorn's usual goal-oriented and not particularly touchy-feely approach. This moon is going to go big in one direction or another because it's making an unbroken link of a trine to Jupiter, the guy that ups any action he gets near. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed and overworked, you'll probably feel it to the 100th power. If you feel that your goals have been eluding you, you may feel that to the 100th power, and you may surprisingly feel bountiful. You may feel a cornucopia of, wow, things are actually more solid than I realized, and it feels pretty good. The moon's ruler, Saturn, is in a lovely opportunity aspect of a sextile, which will help any of those possibilities take shape. And as this begins to fade, we will be taking action based on what we have experienced. If you, for example, realize, hey, I didn't realize that this situation was as solid as it is and it feels pretty good, you will act in a way that's going to tinker with or burst through some of the clouds of confusion that perhaps you've been operating under. The immediate aftermath is going to adjust illusion or delusion or confusion. And in the middle of the week, we get another lightning bolt. Last week began and ended with lightning bolts that broke through, enlivened, activated, liberated our agendas, our action, and also a lot to do with values and relationships. On the 7th, Mercury has the same kind of link with the thrower of that lightning, Uranus, the quick change artist, the radical awakener, the advocate of alternate viewpoints. The ruler of our normal mind and thinking is having this opening with the ruler of the higher mind, and moments of genius are possible. Enlightenment, gigantic ahas, thinking, breaking free of mental limitations or perspectives. Again, as with last week, it is as if the figure in the 8 of Swords in the tarot realizes that her feet are not bound and she can move freely. Watch for uncharacteristic communications around the 8th as we get nudged into expressing ourselves and not worrying so much, if at all, about what other people think. On the 9th, we actually do interact with the source of the noise that's been in the background all week, and we adjust our actions, we adjust our agendas and our motivations to take into account whatever has been going on with our foundations. Mars, cosmic first responder, ruler of our drive, is in and in conjunct with Pluto, the agent of unavoidable change. We adapt our motives, we adapt our methods and approaches to current circumstances, to the changes that have now brought us to where we are at this point. The opening of our perspectives, the tilting of our perspectives, the freeing or liberating of our minds leads to a beautiful atmosphere at the end of the weekend. Also on the 9th, Mercury trines Neptune, planet of illusion, planet of transcendence, planet of imagination and magic and poetry and dreams. You have an open channel to a higher, more magical, more poetic, more beautiful way of viewing your life right now. If you are an artist or a writer or a creator, amazing, unfettered inspiration is on tap for this day. And even if you don't see yourself that way normally, you may have a day of seeing magic and beauty and the divine around you, or at least having a moment of escapism and peace. Homing thought of the week: look at what I've accomplished. Song of the week: Honesty by Kelly Clarkson. And image of the week: I have 2 gold star stickers and a lightning strike followed by a rainbow. You'll learn more about this in my forecast for the Capricorn full moon, which is up at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years experience. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern, and this week my guest is astrologer Mark Borax, returning to talk about his new book, The Ruby Heart of the Dragon. I also host lively conversation on Facebook at Empowerment Unlimited and the group The Astro-Insight Lounge. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, and I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. I'm on Instagram at @KABiehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian Channel. Talk to you next week.